Subscribe to International Breakdown. IB Horror Stories. IB students, what are your funniest / scariest / craziest experiences? My calculator died 10 minutes into my maths paper 2, real exam. Not necessarily a horror story, but one I would not want to be in. A few months ago, during our mocks, someone dropped their calculator right before the math P2 and realized that their fully charged T84 was now almost dead. However, this lad was a brave soul, and he decided to go into the exam knowing full well that his calculator might die at any second. We all thought he was doomed. About an hour later, and I looked to the corner of the exam hall and see this lad just chilling. Maybe I was just hallucinating, but he could have been smiling. I thought that maybe he's given into his fate and is deciding to go out with a smile much like the Vikings before him. But I was wrong. The mad lad had a plan all along. As we would later find out, he decided to do all the algebra he could as soon as he could, leaving any and all answers as fractions or some complex equations. So while we thought he was in danger, the hidden dragon was simply waiting for the right moment to strike. As the proctor informed us we had 15 minutes remaining, we finally heard him unsheath his dying calculator, and with the force of 1,000 exploding suns, he started mashing into his keypad. In my 16 years of life, never have I seen someone so blatantly disregard the danger to his calculator and to his fingertips. The sheer speed at which he was typing and the constant click-clack coming from the calculator's keypad would have been enough to trigger war flashbacks on a global scale. You could see him grimace as the load on his tendons grew exponentially. In that moment, that boy was like Thor taking on the full force of a star, allowing E3 to forge the might axe named Seven Breaker. It was barely 10 minutes, but what felt like lifetimes later, the wretched device and his pen fell to the table simultaneously as he clutched his right palm in pain. He was in pain, but victorious. Mofo pulled a 7 out of his ass. I don't know if this is a standard thing or not, but someone at my school didn't reference one quote in their extended essay and missed out on their whole diploma. The quote wasn't even direct. He had paraphrased it unintentionally into his notes and used those notes in his essay, but it was still recognizable. He and my school's coordinator, who is a legend, wrote letters to the IB appealing this and included references from all his teachers emphasizing his academic integrity across all subject areas, but the IB wouldn't budge. Don't ever mess around with plagiarism, kids. My EE supervisor told me my EE was rubbish 10 hours before the deadline. Well, poop. Oh my war emotion they rue. Your supervisor, probably. I had the calculator on radians. This happened to me. It was only until my paper 2 when I realized. Not mine, but someone killed his chemistry teacher and lost his diploma. Here's a quote from his post a year ago: accidentally caused a teacher's death. I scared my really old chemistry teacher as a joke, and he had a fatal heart attack. He had really bad heart issues that none of the students knew about. He died after 2 days in hospital. So obviously accidental, but he was predicted a 40+ and lost everything. If you ever think you did poorly on an exam, at least you didn't kill your chemistry teacher. My English A teacher allowed us to read a book for paper 2 that he later changed. He never informed us until a month before the exam that we would have to use another book for the paper 2. I had to finish the book 3 days before the paper 2 exam. Lol, half my class didn't read the instructions for history paper 1 and ended up trying to answer all the questions under all topics instead of just one topic. It was rough. Had a friend who wrote 2 essays for English Lit AHL paper 2 instead of 1. What? How do you do that in time? I barely make it through 1 Mayo. So 1 hour into English Lit paper 2, I decide to change my question, having planned a whole essay and written 1 introduction and 1 paragraph. That's fine, I've got 1 hour left. So I write the other essay. I BS it all because of poop planning. Mind you, I've been predicted 7s, so the stress was high since people expect so much from me. I finish my essay with 10 minutes to spare and start organizing my stuff, and I go to cross out the first essay so they won't mark it, except oops, I cross out the second essay I spent the last F an hour writing. So with 10 minutes to spare I have to rewrite the whole intro and first paragraph. The other 3 paragraphs were not crossed out. Write a poopy 4-line conclusion. Organize all the papers in order and not have a breakdown. I wanted to die. I absent-mindedly answered 1 out of the 2 required questions for biology HLP2 section B, automatically losing 15 marks. I guess this would count as a horror story that I was absolutely terrified to be a part of. I take history SL, and for paper 1 my school chose the move to global war as our topic. There are 3 parts to this topic: Italian, German and Japanese expansion in the period between World War I and World War II. Our history teacher had taught us Japanese and German expansion, and we were under the impression that only those 2 parts could come for the exam. Little did we know that Italian expansion could also come, and we came to know the day before the paper 1. All of us freaked out, and we studied a third of the portion for paper 1 literally the night before the exam. 2 years of taking history, and we never knew. My god, it was the most terrifying situation I've been placed in, which is saying something, because I already tortured myself for the past 2 years. Read, take IB. So for physics I did my IA on friction, and my teacher only told me a week before the final IA was due that my experiment was way too simple and I had to do something else. I spent all of Christmas break starting a brand new IA without help instead of studying for my mock exams. One of my friends fell asleep during one of her IB tests, while another received a text from the IB coordinator telling him he was 38 minutes late for his econ exam. He responded by telling her he never signed up for the exam, when in fact he did, and had just forgotten. Comment down below your IB horror story. They might be featured in a future video. Answers from r/IBO. Thank you everybody who made this video possible. Subscribe to International Breakdown for more stolen memes, and thanks for watching till the end.